Hey guys, so for this I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a live running of this qualifying lap, and then we'll figure it out as we go what we need to do. I have a video out on my main channel about super speedway qualifying tips, and all of those will apply to here. I'm pretty sure with Daytona, first lap is rarely the better option, and that's mainly because you're not quite up to speed by the beginning of your lap 1. So I'm expecting it to be a lap 2 here, but I will do a run up for lap 1 just in case. And so with Daytona qualifying, I'll just give you a TLDR of the video. The main thing is that you want to keep up your momentum as much as possible, which means just no scrubbing any tires. And so when you're not scrubbing any tires, that means that when you're doing stuff like going into the tri-oval, going into the corners, coming off the corners, you want to keep your wheels as straight as possible. So we'll go on lap 1 here. I'm just not quite up to speed for sure, so I know this is going to be a lap 2. So it doesn't matter for lap 1 of what you do really. So I'm just going to stay kind of on the bottom. It doesn't really matter. And then 3 and 4 we're going to go up top. So it looks like we can get up to about 178 miles an hour. I think we were about 176 miles an hour on the beginning of lap 1, and that 2 miles an hour is huge. We don't want that. So in the B car, there's something called wall arrow, which means that the closer you are to the wall, the more speed it will cause you to lose. It's kind of because of the cushion, kind of some stuff with the aerodynamics things. But you see, at the last second, I'm going to come down to the yellow line, make sure not to touch it. You see how much faster I am. Is definitely second lap. So I'm going to stay not quite to the bottom, but pretty close to the bottom. And I'm going to try to make all of my turn in one motion, and then just hold the wheel. I have to maybe do a little bit of micro adjustments. And then coming off the corner, all you do is turn back up. Let the car slide up about a lane, and make sure not to slide any of the tires. So now 3 and 4, I'm going to get a little bit closer back to the bottom again. Turn all in one motion, stay off the apron, little turns as possible, and then once again you let the car slide up about half a lane to a lane, and then we're gonna do apron coming to the line in this car. So I'll hit the apron here. There we go. 0.615. So I'm gonna keep going here a little bit, just to talk about some strategy with the race. So in the B car, they're pretty good at staying side by side. I think the lines are usually pretty even, so you might see some 3 wide even, but because they're even, it's really easy for the lines to get stalled out. So like in the next gen, it's kind of interesting because you can kind of tandem draft, you can push someone all the way up to the front, and you see that sometimes in like trucks and ARCA too, but I found with Xfinity car, everything just stalls out a lot easier. So if you can do this qualifying and get up to the front and kind of be in the top 5 for the entire race, yeah, there's a chance that you'll get wrecked in the front, but I think that risk is well worth it. I think that the risk of getting wrecked in the first row or two, even when compared to Daytona, is really narrow, right? So Talladega, the other super speedway we race at, is a lot wider. So there's a lot less room to avoid stuff here. So for that reason, I like being on the bottom in Daytona, because that gives you at least a little bit of room. And I like being in the front, because statistically, if you're in the back or in the middle, you're going to be approaching more wrecks than if you're in the front. And yes, some wrecks happen in the front, but a lot of wrecks don't. So I'm a big proponent of trying to control the race, especially in a fixed race. No green flag pit stops. If you make it to the end, you make it to the end. So because of that, I really like controlling the race. Other things too is that get really comfortable with bump drafting. I said so in my video on my main channel too. But if you're good at bump drafting, then people will want to work with you. If you're a bad pusher, if you hang like half a car length off of someone's bumper and just let the other line pass you, you're pretty much going to get hung out to dry. No one's going to want to work with you. So get really comfortable staying close to other cars and stay on the bottom. If you want to stay safe, maybe the top will be a good line in your race, and if so, you can risk it. But when things get hairy, I like being on the bottom. Alright, so that's pretty much all I got for Xfinity Super Speedway. So good luck to you all, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Alright, thanks a lot.